Welcome, dear listeners, to the realm where fear reigns supreme and the darkness holds its sway. I'm your guide through this labyrinth of nightmares, your companion in the shadows. In this podcast, I will read you stories that I'm sure will keep you up at night, and I hope by the end of this episode, you will not be able to close your eyes without a chill running up your spine. I'm a good bird. Every morning, the red blanket is pulled off my cage. Hello there. She wakes up first, then she wakes me up. Those are the words that greet me every morning. It makes me happy. I always make sure to respond back. Hello there. She likes it when I respond back. She is my human, Amy. Hello there. Hello there. Humans like when you repeat things, especially her. Amy has a lovely smile and laugh. She always smiles and laughs when I say my name over and over. Oliver, Oliver, Oliver. I'm a good bird. I'm always a good bird for Amy. Being good gets me rewarded. Treats, treats, treats. I can fit so many in my beak. I want a treat. I only know 27 words, 28 if you include my name. But I know every emotion. Faces don't lie. The man in the house doesn't like me. Stupid, annoying, irritating. Those are some of the words he said near my cage. Wonder what he said when I'm not around. Humans say many things they do not mean. I just say the things I hear. Stupid bird. No, I'm not. I'm not a stupid bird. I'm a good bird. Why does he think that? Amy loves me. Why can't he? Amy hasn't taken my blanket off my cage in a while. I can't see anything except for red. I miss her. Where is Amy? This isn't routine. Amy. She never answers me. I'm worried. The sounds. I heard things outside my cage. They scared me. I think they scared Amy too. She was crying. I heard the man too. His voice. His voice was loud. Don't make me do this, he shouted. I don't know why. Humans make noises for reasons that make no sense. Money. Lawyer. It's over. I don't understand. I only understand voices. I climbed to the top of my perch and listened. It's silent now. Earlier I had heard screaming. The man shouted words I wasn't supposed to learn. So naturally I learned them. Don't make me do this. No, stop it. Amy. Then something heavy fell. Amy. Where is Amy? It's very quiet. I don't like quiet. Quiet usually means a hawk is nearby, but there are no hawks. What's going on? It is morning. Amy did not uncover my cage. The man did. He never does that. Hello there. He doesn't answer me. I'm a good bird. He doesn't give me my treats, but I'm a good bird. His hands are shaking. Humans shake when they are cold. He is not cold. He looks angry. He looks scared. Amy hasn't come back. I keep calling for her. Amy, Amy, Amy. No answer. I even whistled her favorite tune. No answer. Amy. The man's voice responded instead. Stupid fucking bird. Stupid fucking bird. He didn't like me repeating him while he cleaned the kitchen. He spent a lot of time cleaning. But where is Amy? Then strangers in blue clothes came in. 3 of them. They all had silver things hanging from their belts. The man was scared of them, but he let them in. Nervous. He smiles too much. Humans smile when they are happy. They also smile when they are terrified. I don't know why. One of the blue strangers approached my cage. I puffed up my feathers. Hello there. The stranger smiled at me. She seemed happy to see me, like Amy. Hello there. She's much friendlier than the other man. I can trust her. I can repeat something I had learned. Don't make me do this. It's quiet now, and everyone is staring. The man looks even more nervous. Strangers have been nice to me. They like listening to me. I'm a good bird. I'm very good at listening. The strangers looked at the man, and the man looked at me. Nobody praised me. Why? I'm a good bird. Don't make me do this. Please, no. Fucking bitch. No. Pop, pop. I'm a good bird. More blue strangers came after that to speak to the man. They were very nice to me again. There were lots of questions. Humans talk a lot. Humans cry a lot, too. A lot more than birds. I'm a good bird. I listen. When the blue strangers left, the man stood in front of my cage. He stared at me for a very long time. His eyes were bloodshot. He looked angry. Stupid fucking bird. I clicked my beak. Amy, do you know what you've done? I did not. I'm a good bird. Amy always smiled and laughed at that. The man did not. I want treats. I'm a good bird. The next day, there were even more blue strangers. Lots of blue. They were all nice to me. One of them carried a little black box. The female was the one who placed it in front of my cage. The box listened. Oliver, her voice was soft. Can you tell me what happened? She asked questions like Amy. I miss Amy. I gave them sounds. Every sound, every word, exactly as I heard them. I remember all of it. Birds are good at remembering. I'm a good bird. I used the man's voice first. Don't make me do this. Then Amy's. Please, no. Then the man's again. Fucking bitch. Then Amy's again. No! Then the noise that followed. Pop, pop. The room became silent again. Where's Amy? I want treats. I'm a good bird. The man is crying again. One of the blue strangers walked away. They took the little black box away from the front of my cage, then took the man not too long after. I'm a good bird. I remember everything. The man never came back after that. The strangers say he isn't coming back. They also said Amy's never coming back. I don't understand what that means. Humans leave all the time, but they always come back. That is how it works. That is routine. Amy. She never responds. Why? I'm a good bird. Every morning I wait for her voice, and every morning nobody answers. But sometimes the strangers visit and ask me to repeat what I heard, the bad words, the sounds that make them upset. So I do. I remember everything. Humans like when you repeat things, just like Amy. Hello there. I'm a good bird. This is why you don't put a roller coaster through a forest. When I was a kid, I grew up in the East Riding of Yorkshire. That's pronounced sure, not shire. Yorkshire. That's what I said. I didn't say Yorkshire. Yorkshire. Anyway, for any Americans reading this, well, thank you. I'm American. Glad I went over that. I lived in a rather ordinary but somewhat boring port town. that most people only bypassed while heading along the motorway. Fast forward to my early teens, I had just finished my first year of high school, and my best friend at this time was a kid named Kyle. Kyle and I had grown up together, as we both attended the same primary school and lived fairly nearby in town. Thankfully, when high school started, me and Kyle were thrown into the very same classes, so our friendship continued to prosper. Another kid in our class that first year, who we knew already, was a kid named Kiernan. Ironically, Kiernan attended the very same primary school as me and Kyle, but had always been in the opposite class for our age group, so we never really became friends with him until now. Unlike Kyle and myself, who were somewhat short for our age, Kiernan was always the lankiest kid in school. And if that didn't distinguish him, it was definitely his long and thick curly hair, which had gained him the nickname Curly Fries. Before high school started, Kiernan had actually gotten all his curls shaved off, probably so the nickname wouldn't continue through his teens. Having already known each other before high school and now being in the same classes, it didn't take long for us to become a trio of best friends. I had even recruited Kieran to play for my dad's football team, which Kyle and I both played for. Because of this year long friendship three way, Kieran had invited us both the following summer to a theme park, which his parents were taking him for his 13th birthday. The theme park Kiernan had taken us to was called Lakewater Valley, a family adventure park in North Yorkshire. Yorkshire. Oh God, see now that he pointed it out, I don't know what it doesn't matter, I'm just gonna say it. A family adventure park in North Yorkshire. Prior to this, I had only ever been to one theme park in my life, which is obviously where I had my first ever experience on a roller coaster. The only thing I really remember about this first roller coaster ride, aside from the 2 bloody hours waiting in line, along with the screaming girls in the front row, was me repeating the same word over and over. Shit, 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 shit. I didn't find out about this until a year too late, but that roller coaster was apparently the steepest one in the world. Not the UK, but the world. And I just happened to choose that monstrosity as my first. If you don't believe me, just type in online the Mumbo Jumbo roller coaster at Flamingo Land, and you'll see for yourself. Once we arrive at Lakewater Valley, after first seeing the park's small animal and bird sanctuary, along with the more child friendly attractions, I then go on the first big and definitely scary amusement ride the park had to offer. The ride in question was called the Falcon Claw, a KMG afterburner pendulum that lifts, swings, and twists you high above the air before doing the same on the way down. Neither Kyle nor Kiernan wanted to come on this ride with me. Kyle didn't because, well, to put it lightly, he was always a girl's ladies' parts. I get it. And as best as I remember, Kiernan wasn't feeling too well. Not wanting to go on this ride alone, Kiernan's stepdad, Steve, agrees to go on it with me. Steve was a former rugby player and was therefore a very big guy, so I felt a lot safer being on the scary ride with him. Not that it stopped me from closing my eyes the entire time. Once the ride is over and I recover from a bad case of vertigo, we all then make our way further inside the park, excitedly coming upon the first water attraction of the day. I quickly learned the ride is nothing more than a water slide with an inflatable dinghy, but unlike the Falcon Claw, I thankfully get to go on it with Kyle and Kiernan. While the three of us wait impatiently in line, I then turn around to the sound of laughter directly behind me, where to my surprise the laughter was coming from two 11-year-old girls. As it turned out, these girls had also been on the Falcon Claw when I was, and they thought it was just hilarious that I had my eyes closed the entire time. Ironically, like a scared little girl. If that wasn't humiliating enough, for the whole rest of the day, Kyle and Kiernan wouldn't let me hear the end of it. A couple of hours later, and after several more rides and attractions, we finally come upon the most famous and scariest roller coaster in the park, the Maximum. This roller coaster, built in the early 90s, previously held the record as the world's longest at 2,268 meters. But what made the maximum so unique was that after two high and very steep apexes, the tracks would then enter and bend just through the trees of a nearby forest. Kieran had been on the maximum before and was very excited to go on it again, as was I. Kyle, however, decided to stay behind and watch from the sidelines, being the little bitch that he was, and so it would be just me and Kieran who would ride the maximum. While the carts quickly fill up with passengers, Kieran and I both take our seats near the front, and before long, the coaster starts moving along the tracks to the first lift hill. The climb up the apex is very slow, but in the meantime, me and Kieran have a great view around the park. Once we reach the summit, the front of the roller coaster then shoots straight and painfully down the slope, filling every single cart behind us with fun filled screams. Although it had only been a year since my first and last ride on a roller coaster, I'm by no means prepared for the stomach gurned feeling of being temporarily airborne. I honestly found the experience quite painful. Once back down on horizontal tracks, we then have to contend with the coaster's almost unnaturally fast speed along the bends and bumps. Despite this part of the ride only lasting for seconds, when you're too busy screaming and irrationally fearing for your life, you genuinely feel like it's longer. Although the carts thankfully begin to lose speed and the bruising bends come to a stop, this is only because we have reached the next lift hill, where there would then be a second and even higher apex, followed by another and even steeper slope. Despite me and Kieran fearfully anticipating the summit, what thankfully lessens the tension of this is that the cart directly behind us is a group of four Jamaican tourists. I kid you not, but when the coaster had gone full throttle down those tracks, I literally hear one of them say, "Oh no, man!" Kieran and I actually have a very good laugh about this, as four terrified Jamaicans on a roller coaster fondly remind us of the movie Cool Runnings. Well, before long, we finally reach the top of the apex, which is followed by a terrifying shoot down. Only this time, the tracks would lead us straight into the forest and between the narrow gaps of trees. The roller coaster is now moving at speeds I had never before gone in my life. But what makes the speeds worse is the idea of the carts breaking off the hinges and crashing straight into the body of a tree, splattering all inside. After one painful bend, then another, and then another, the tracks are now heading toward the pitch black underside of a stone arch bridge. Before I can even anticipate this, me and Kieran are then covered entirely in a blanket of darkness, where, at an untamable speed, we can't even see where we're going. With my sight temporarily suspended, I then feel a sudden impactful thud inside the cart, which is instantly followed by something not only wet, but warm splatter upon my face. Although I'm too full of adrenaline to even process a single thought, the one I have is that the carts had gone over a puddle and drenched us both in muddy water. Only mere seconds after this, the tunnel of darkness is lifted from over our heads, and while we still move through the forest at ultra speed, I then look over to my left at Kieran. But the image I see is not what I was suspecting. What I see is Kieran, his face and t-shirt drenched in some dark substance. Whatever the substance on him is, it not only impairs his vision, but seems to leave a bitter taste in the mouth. I then looked down at my own shirt to realize I was also covered in it, before touching my face and seeing a red liquid stain on my fingers. Once the realization of what is on me has come to fruition, the sound of grinding steel tracks and passenger screams quickly filled back into my ears. But unlike before, the screams are not of excitement or adrenaline, but horror. Every single passenger in the carts ahead of us has been covered in the red and apparently fleshy substance. and it takes no time for either me, Kiernan, or anyone else to figure out what has happened. After the entirety of this horror has been realized, the ride thankfully begins to slow down to its end, where we then mercifully enter out of the forest and back into the park. Once our restraints finally unlock, every passenger on the Maximum escapes from their carts to reach the safe, solid ground of the platform. Searching around the platform for Kiernan's parents and Kyle, once the blood soaked passengers move out of the way, we then see the look of pure shock on the three of their faces. Kiernan's parents demand to know what happened to us, and although we tell them the coaster hit something going under a bridge because the tunnel of darkness had blinded our vision, we had no idea what the thing even was. While me and Kiernan went to the toilets to clean ourselves up, Kiernan's mom and basically all other adults on the ride have gone to complain to the park officials. After park staff investigate the bridge, they then come back with the conclusion a wild deer had wandered onto the tracks. Allegedly, the roller coaster had then collided with the deer, and due to the speed it was going, decapitated and sprayed all passengers inside with its blood. Once the mystery of where the blood came from had been solved, Kiernan's parents drive the three of us back home to East Yorkshire, where we all vow never to return to Lakewater Valley. Unfortunately, the story of what happened that day doesn't end there. Believe me, I really wish it did. Due to wild deer carrying various diseases, mine and Kiernan's parents had us tested the following days. After all, the deer's blood had not only gotten on our skin, but also our eyes and even in Kiernan's mouth. Although my results thankfully came back negative for things like Lyme or Wales disease, unfortunately for Kiernan, he had contracted something. But the strange thing about it was what he had contracted from the blood wasn't transferable between wild deer and humans. On the contrary, the disease Kiernan now had could only have been transferred to him by a member of the same species, which means the blood that infected Kiernan that day, it hadn't come from a wild deer. It came from another person. As the shadows recede and the echoes of terror fade into the night, we must bid farewell to another haunting tale, or tales. But fear not, dear listeners, for the darkness will always welcome us back, eager to share its secrets once more. Remember to keep a light burning in the darkness, for even the smallest flame can hold back the night. Until next time, may your dreams be free from the whispers of the dark, and may you find solace in the light of day. This has been Shadows in the Dark, Tales of Terror. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the unknown. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay vigilant, and never forget that the shadows are always watching.